Tonight, authorities plead with drivers to play it safe on our roads following a dangerous high-speed pursuit. And a new heavy vehicle coronavirus testing station opens in Port Augusta.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening. A high-speed pursuit in Broken Hill CBD has left authorities on the hunt for the offender's vehicle. It's yet another chase that has taken place in the city's streets over the past 3 months.
The Friday evening pursuit took part here in the heart of Broken Hill.
Police attempted to stop a yellow Ford Falcon Ute when it ran a stop sign into Iodide Street.
Police allege the driver refused to stop when targeted, which sparked a pursuit through several streets in the CBD.
It ended up going down Crystal Street, up Sulphide Street, round near the jail, and ended up the vehicle turned into Gosson Street, then down Micah Street.
It was called off for safety reasons shortly after, only lasting a few minutes. Investigations are continuing tonight, with officers urging the public to be on the lookout for a yellow Ford Falcon Ute with registration OVM 844. The incident, another in a long list of chases which have unfolded across the city, leaving police fed up and worried.
Fortunately, the time of night there wasn't that much traffic around, but it is a very dangerous practice, and it's a matter of time. If it keeps happening, someone is probably going to get hurt.
In light of the growing number of pursuits though, drink driving cases in the Broken Hill area have reduced.
When the pubs were in lockdown, the drink driving and alcohol related incidents plummeted, obviously, but we did get the occasional one where people have been drinking from home.
Police are warning drink drivers across our region that if they risk getting behind the wheel, not only will they be caught, but they risk their own lives and others around them. Patrick Ryankey, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Meanwhile, a man has been arrested for drink driving after police received numerous complaints of an erratic driver travelling on the Augusta Highway near Red Hill on Friday night. The 22-year-old man from the far north allegedly returned a blood alcohol reading of 0.227. He was bailed to appear in court in November. Investigations are continuing into the attempted robbery of a service station in Port Augusta on Sunday morning. Authorities say a man in his 20s entered the facility on the Air Highway at around 6 o'clock, brandishing a weapon believed to have been a small knife or a pair of scissors. The attendant wasn't physically injured, while the suspect, described as of Aboriginal appearance, wearing a hooded top with a green and camouflage sleeve, left empty-handed. Anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers. A new heavy vehicle coronavirus testing station has opened in Port Augusta, targeting essential drivers coming from interstate. The station has been put together as part of a response to coronavirus outbreaks in other states.
SA Health getting on the front foot, aiming to eliminate potential outbreaks in South Australia.
The new border restrictions and the requirements for heavy vehicle drivers to be tested, or those that are crossing borders to be tested every 7 days. So the need arose.
Port Augusta sees thousands of travellers pass by each day on the Augusta Highway, many from interstate.
We're always known as the Crossroads Australia, and the amount of essential workers that travel in and out, both by rail and road train and truck, is very critical that these tests can be conducted to keep us all safe.
The COVID test now compulsory for essential workers travelling to South Australia to receive their permit. However, they do not need to isolate while on the job.
They must self-quarantine in South Australia if they're not undertaking their actually work-related duties. So while they're truck driving, they are fine, they can continue their work.
The testing station will be open 7 days a week at the Puma truck stop.
Anticipate that, over a full day from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m, that, we could see up to 40 or 50 truck drivers tested each day.
And you know that these essential workers that are coming and going are getting tested. That's a comfort for the local community.
Anyone with any symptoms is urged to get tested. Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come in tonight's bulletin, students in Whyalla receive special support heading to the great outdoors, and 2 independent members visit Jeff Prock to discuss regional issues. Hello again. A group of school students from Whyalla have had the opportunity to embark on a one-week trekking experience in the Flinders Ranges next month. The program, called Operation Flinders, is designed to support disadvantaged youths and help them learn leadership skills.
Bags at the ready, 10 lucky students all excited for this opportunity, proven to have a multitude of benefits.
Learn skills of self-reliance, independence, resilience, problem solving, skills that can help them in their future life.
The school partnering with Whyalla Police and the Department for Child Protection, planning this exercise for over a year. The Whyalla community also supportive, raising $16,500 for the initiative.
There were a few hiccups, I think, in term one when COVID-19 hit, but we're fortunate that it can still go ahead.
Police say the program provides an opportunity for participants to grow as valued members of the community.
Operation Flinders has always been a great opportunity for police to break down barriers with members of the community, particularly where people have stereotypes about police.
A community constable along with team members will attend the deployment, forming a positive support network for the youths. The department says the program is based on more than 20 years of evidence.
The amount of days that they spend up there, the program that they use, has the ability to really, I guess, get the youth to be able to look into what's happening in their lives and to be able to look at what opportunities are out there for the future as well.
Trekking through the outback for 8 days, the students will undertake a range of physical and psychological challenges.
I've been principal at other schools where the program's happened, and it is amazing. It's life-changing for students and for the staff that go as well.
Sophia Contigonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
2 independent members have travelled to Port Pirie to meet with the member for Frome, Jeff Brock. They've spent part of the week discussing issues affecting regional and city areas to ensure they're addressed in Parliament.
An agenda to put community issues back on the table.
We're prepared to do is to pick up some of the ideas, some of the issues that the government and or the opposition may not pick up or won't want to pick up.
Real-time fuel prices and a review into nursing home practices, just some of the topics discussed to take back into Parliament.
Around the retirement villages, and that's an issue for people right across South Australia. So keen to get the review up into that issue.
Although the bill that's just gone through Parliament only keeps petrol prices to a 30-minute window, we are still very keen to look at the benefits of keeping it at a 24-hour window.
The independent members are meeting face-to-face after months of COVID-19 restrictions. One of the first regional tours, they say it's important to focus on a broad range of community issues as well as the fight against coronavirus.
For the past 6 months, which have been very different because of COVID, but we need to be able to look at other things as well. The rest of the state isn't stopping. Jobs are clearly going to be a very big issue for everyone.
There's more meetings to come, with plans for another regional tour in the coming months.
This is the first tour, they're coming out, and what we want to do later on is go to the southeast, go on that other end there.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Whyalla hospitality students are restarting the practical components of their course with the popular TAFE cafe Mondi Ali's reopening tomorrow. The students have spent today preparing, excited to see some familiar local faces walk through the door.
Prepping the tables and brushing up on their cocktail skills. These TAFE hospitality students preparing for tomorrow's reopening after COVID-19 put their practical learning on pause.
Yeah, it was closed for a very long time. It was supposed to have been open, I think back in April, because the COVID-19 has sort of pushed us back a bit.
A range of new and experienced students are excited to be back.
For me, I did it last year, so I've got a bit more experience, but these guys are all newbies, so it'll be their first time actually with real customers.
That real customer experience priceless to their learning. Christy says it's helped her prepare for the workforce.
We've done everything from bar service, which is making cocktails, to table service, We've studied a la carte all the way through to your fine dining silver service.
Although the coronavirus has caused some disruption to this year's program, they've learnt to adapt.
We've had to be able to engage with students online more than we would normally do.
The students adhering to strict COVID-19 protocols, an easy transition with hygiene practices already in place.
We've been very fortunate here at Mondiali's Cafe. We've always maintained an extremely high standard of hygiene and sanitisation.
The tables and chairs get wiped over every day before shift and every day after. The menus get wiped down, everything gets cleaned in disinfectant.
The team encourage locals to stop by the cafe tomorrow morning from 9:30. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us. After the break, we meet the winner of last night's Mulker Awards and better lighting for soccer pitches in Broken Hill. Welcome back. The winners have been announced for the 2020 Mulker Aboriginal Art Prize. Local artists came together last night to celebrate what was an unusual Mulker exhibition.
A night to celebrate what our local artists have to offer in person. This year's online exhibition shining a light on the talent found within the Port Augusta and surrounding communities.
We're just so proud of every one of them, and it's just something that we definitely need to keep on the agenda.
First-time entrant Wanella McKenzie took out the award honouring the late Marvin McKenzie.
What a great way to remember the work that he done 11 years ago, realising that there was nothing here in our community for Aboriginal people.
I feel incredibly honoured. I'm in shock. I'm so excited.
Wanella said she couldn't believe it when her name was called.
Beautiful honour to have the award that's in his name.
Taking out the art prize with a piece collaborated with daughter Nala.
The weave is a story of that cultural continuation and passing that knowledge on to the next generation.
Organisers say the bar has been set high in the lead up to next year.
Planning for 2021 is already on the agenda. We just hope that we're not going to be in lockdown, but if we do, we know what we can do. We've already set the platform now and we can only build on that.
Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Port Pirie Council is calling for Crystal Brook residents to vote between two themes for a large-scale mural on Bowman Street. The selection is between two different artist impressions, both featuring farming equipment and native animals. Locals are being encouraged to cast their vote through the Council's Community Consultation tab on the website. South Australia's space sector is preparing for liftoff, launching its first rocket at a new test range at Cooneybean. In just a few months' time, Adelaide's space startup Southern Launch will fire a rocket about 100 kilometres into space. The small dart, which weighs 34 kilos, will conduct vital tests between the Earth's atmosphere using sensors and communication devices. Broken Hill's soccer players will soon be playing under new lights, with federal funding paving the way for an upgrade. No matches are being played on local pitches at the moment, with the surface undergoing upgrades for when games eventually return.
The way the association sees it, it's a long-awaited goal finally being scored.
Lighting, one of the things that's been letting us down over a number of years. They've been shutting down at different times. There's a couple of blind spots. To come into the 21st century with some new good lighting, I think will only be good for our members.
In addition to new towers at Alma Oval, the recently announced federal funding will also see the city's two soccer pitches have their old fixtures brought up to scratch. Not just good for those playing for the association, it's a less of a hit on the back pocket.
We're going to be cutting down the electricity bills a fair bit. It'll be better for players as well. I know that just in relation to things like corners and things like that, you've got a split second with blind spots, which is no good for players.
With Broken Hill set to host the 2020 Country Junior Soccer Championships, steps are also being taken to get the surface pristine. Turf being laid with a new sprinkler system in place while no games are on the cards.
That has now been done, so soccer's hopeful that the grounds will improve greatly over the spring period.
The association has not confirmed whether a summer competition will go ahead. Indoor soccer is being considered.
We're looking at the COVID situation. It's time. We gave it an early call. We may have a look, and we're going to explore some opportunities around futsal. But at this stage, I think we're just going to prepare for 2021.
Patrick Ryankey, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Shari Hams will have the weekend sport wrap and Britt will join us for a look at your local weather. Hello again. Now let's take a look at the weekend sports results from across the region. In Port Pirie, Savoy took on Para Hills and are now placed third on the ladder. Shari Hams has more.
Savoy's strong start to the 2020 season continued over the weekend after defeating Para Hill East at Pirie West Oval on Sunday. It was predicted to be a close match between the two teams who are neck and neck on the table. The scores were 1-0 at half-time, with Savoy's coming out on top in the finish. Jack Scoot, a star player for Savoy, bagging a hat-trick in the match and now leading the association in goals kicked by individual players. The Greens now placing third on the ladder. It was a good weekend for Port Pirie soccer, with Northern Demons also recording a win, defeating Salisbury United 2-1. They're now 8th on the leaderboard. In Whyalla soccer, Croatia moved within a point of Westlands United at the top of the table, defeating them 6-4 in a high-scoring clash. Reigning premiers Wanderers missed the chance to do the same after they were thrashed 6-2 by the Lions. Now over to Whyalla netball. Kiwi defeated the Warriors by 40 goals to consolidate status as premiership favourites. In the other matches, the Ravens were no match for YCW, 26-62. True Blue also thrashing Rapina by 29 goals. And finally, in Broken Hill netball, the St Joe's Jesters defeated West Flame Red, keeping their opponents scoreless in the 20-goal win. St Joe's also defeating West Flame Black by the same score, 20-0. United was no match for Williama Red, losing by 14 goals. And the Morgies also came out on top, thrashing Wilma to secure the points. That's all for sports from across the region. If you have any other sports you'd like included in our bulletin, contact us through our Facebook page.
And time to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Britt Aylen.
Thanks, Louise. Well, it was wet and windy today. Woodner recorded the region's high of 20 degrees. Looking at the map, it reached a top of 17 degrees at Port Lincoln, Kadina and Cleve today. Whyalla and Port Pirie both recorded highs of 16. Port Augusta, Broken Hill and Coffin Bay all 15. Adelaide also reached 15 degrees with a top of just 10 at Clare today. Clouds streamed across the Spencer Gulf with a trough generating rain, gusty winds and thunderstorms, the worst of which we saw about the Eyre Peninsula. To our west, patchy cloud with a strong southwesterly flow causing the odd light shower. Moving on to tomorrow, and we will start with the Gulf waters. Northerly winds at 15 to 20 knots, increasing over southern waters through the morning before easing again in the afternoon. Seas up to 2.5 metres with south to southwesterly swells below 1 metre. Showers forecast for Port Lincoln tomorrow, looking at a high of 17 degrees. Clare also 17 with a shower or two and strong winds developing through the day. Showers at Woodner with a top of 18. Whyalla with a shower or two expected tomorrow, 19 the top. Port Augusta showers and 21. Kadina showers and 18 tomorrow. A shower or two for Port Pirie, also 18. Clare showers and 15. Broken Hill fine and partly cloudy with a top of 19 degrees. So that was Wednesday. Let's take a quick look at Thursday now. Showers about the west coast, lower Eyre Peninsula, mid-north and York Peninsula, as well as over Adelaide. Fine and partly cloudy elsewhere. Port Augusta and Broken Hill both with tops of 19 degrees. Whyalla and Port Pirie both 18 degrees. Woodner, Kadina and Port Lincoln all with tops of 17. Friday, showers across the Spencer Gulf region. Fine and partly cloudy at Broken Hill with a high of 19 degrees. Port Augusta with a top of 18. Woodner, Whyalla and Port Pirie all 17. Port Lincoln and Kadina both 16 degrees. And finally now to Saturday. More showers about the West Coast, Lower Eyre Peninsula, Flinders, Mid-North, York Peninsula and Broken Hill forecast districts, as well as over Adelaide. Fine and partly cloudy about the Eastern Eyre Peninsula, with maximum temperatures sitting in the mid to late teens. So Louise, it looks like we've got some showery days ahead, and with that, it's back to you.
All right, thank you for that, Britt. And that wraps up your local news for this evening. We thank you for your company. We'll have updates later. Until then, have a lovely and safe evening. Good night.